Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Some new powers out in the AL East. Some powers going down in the NL East. Oh yeah, Yankees got tossed around. Let's talk ball. Let's talk ball.
Patrick Corbin.
Rafael Devers.
You're out.
Oh, pal. Not at the stadium.
He's not a Yankee.
Not at the stadium. He was supposed to be a Yankee. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek, code TALKIN 2025. My name is Jake Storielli. That is Trevor Plouffe. Rob Scirocco is here producing his butt off. And welcome to the 6-9 episode of Talkin' Baseball.
Huh.
Yeah, Coach. I'm excited. Cubs, Tigers, World Series preview. People are saying, not me. Yankees got embarrassed whenever shit talk comes up for the Yankees. They end up putting themselves their foot in their mouth. Dude, what the Braves and Phillies, different ends of the spectrum, but where the direction those teams are going on. Coach, how are you?
Jacob, everybody listening, Bobo. I'm doing great, man. I had a nice little weekend. Was on a boat, which you were saying was really nice to see for me. And then I had a youth tournament. Teddy played really well, actually.
Oh.
He's like just walking around the house like he owns the house.
Wow.
And I need to maybe put him down a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
That's my job as a No, I'm just kidding. A lot of good ball to talk. I'm excited because you're right. There are some teams that maybe we're going to call dead. There's some guys that are just having career years. Shout out Patrick Corbin. Are you serious what he's doing? And I can't wait to hear you talk about the Yanks. So this is great. This is a great Monday for me.
And congrats to Patrick Corbin and any Texas Rangers pitcher. Not a big Texas Rangers episode, but here we are. Hunter Dobbins kind of dunked on us a little bit yesterday, so that's fun. That's always fun. Rookie pitcher, supposed to be the Bronx. Kind of ugly baseball. Anyways, Cubs Detroit is really good. Diamondbacks just like to die over and over again. I don't really know what that's about. And man, where are the Houston Astros in the standings? Let's just start doing it.
Where we dropping, Pop?
It's Monday, 6-9, so we're doing American League. And the Tigers, they hosted the Cubs, and they take 2 out of 3. They take the bread games. Skubal and Flaherty. Whoa. Both of those guys have been locked in for a little bit. Impressive outings. Kerry Carpenter with the bat and the glove. A huge game-saving catch in the first one. They couldn't stop the Cubbies in that middle game. Jamison Tyone and 5 Cubs homers. But man, Tigers shut them out on that final day. Boogity, boogity, boogity. A lot of wins on the field. First 40-win game matchup. Analytics. The Seattle Mariners. Angels take 2 out of 3. They win the first 2 games. Luckily, George Kirby was here on that last game. 7 innings pitched, 14 punchies. But the Mariners, they're drowning right now. And Joe Adell is not. Trev, when Joe Adell hits 2 homers, the Angels tend to win. He did that. Travis d'Arnaud showed up for the Halos. But yeah, the Mariners heading the wrong way. The Toronto Blue Jays, they took 2 out of 3 from the Minnesota Twins. Toronto's winning a lot of series, Trev. Part of that's because your guy, Addison Barger, continues to go nuts, and so is George Springer. OPS around 9 for the year. Brooks Lee got his hands in on that 1 ball, Trev, on the last day that the Twins salvaged a set, but Toronto continues to be, they're a playoff team right now. So are the Houston Astros. They take 2 out of 3 from the Cleveland Guard Dogs. Jeremy Pena, superstar. He's playing like one right now, I'll tell you that much. So is Hunter Brown all year. The Astros, they take that second game in extras, and then Cleveland salvages set to not get swept. That's what the Guardians do. We say that in a complimentary way, but you can't be saying that too much because that means teams are trying to sweep you. Anyways, the White Sox take 2 out of 3 from the Royals. The AL Central, Trev, I'm getting worried. Hey, I know we haven't given the White Sox a ton of love. Mike Tauchman's been playing pretty strong baseball for a while. Chase Mydra, is a turn happening Is a turn happening? I don't know. They win the series. Jack Caglione, 4-hit day on the final game. They're going to need him and Bobby Witter to start getting it going, and maybe they will. Orioles and A's. Yeah. Orioles, they were winning some games 6 straight. The A's shut it down, Taffer style. They take the bread games. I know we talk about him a lot, but Jacob Wilson, another 3-hit game, another 2-hit game in the finale. Colin Cowser's back, and he hit a moondoggie. Both these teams are bad. Analytics. Your final series, the battle for Florida. The Rays take 2 out of 3 from the Marlins. Trev has some big highlights from this one. I'm actually glad he called them out. Hey, how about that 11-10 extra inning game in the middle? Did you watch? Nobody did. Chris Morrell had a couple homers, and I miss him. And I miss you. That's what happened. There's one other thing that happened in the American League. It's the best Western Road Warriors. Oh, yeah, it's my Boston Red Sox. They hit 5 homers on Sunday, tying a season high for them. Rafael Devers, he's a road warrior. Career at Yankee Stadium in 64 games. He's got an .855 OPS. Honestly, that feels low because it feels like every game he is homering. 30 homers in 113 games in his career against the Yankees. Red Sox take 2 out of 3 at the stadium. They're our daddy right now, and that's what happened in the American League.
I think you're thinking about Rafael Devers' OPS against Garrett Cole, and then if you put that next to 855 seems light, right?
Yeah, I think...
I have the standings, though. Are you interested in that?
I really am, Trev, because there's the American League. I've got
some fluctuation.
I've got 3 AL East playoff teams right now. How do you like that?
What are we doing? Now, I don't even need to read the standings because Bobo's putting them on the TV now.
Some people
I'm still gonna do it.
Bobo's putting them on the TV now.
The Yankees, 5-5 in their last 10, still leading the AL East. 39-25. They're 4.5 games above both the Rays and the Blue Jays at 35-30 apiece. The Boston Red Sox making a chug back to 500, possibly 32-35 for them. 26-38 for the Baltimore Orioles in the Central. Holy shnikes, the Tigers, 43 wins to 24 losses. They're 7 games up on my Twins, who are 35-30. The Guardians a half game behind that at 34-30. Kansas City Royals 34-32, and the White Sox, Chase Maidras White Sox 22-44. And then out west, the Houston Astros have opened up a 2.5 game lead over the Mariners. They're sitting at 36-29. Mariners struggle bust 33-31. The Rangers 31-35. The Angels 30-34, and then Jacob Wilson's A's 26-41. You're right. In the wild card, I think it's time we could start doing that, Jake. Just real quick. There are 3 teams tied for the 3 wild card spots. It's the Twins, the Rays, and the Blue Jays, all sitting at 35-30. The Guardians a half game back, and the Mariners and Royals 1.5 games back of that. And those are the standings in the American League.
Well done, Coach Trev. Yeah, they AL wildcard's going to be juicy. I guess we could save the NL wildcard for a little bit because there's an argument things might be sorted a little better. Hey, let's start out with those Kitties because they're purring in Detroit Rock City. Detroit fans have been getting a little frustrated with me because every time I mention the best teams, I half leave out Detroit. You've had some questions about if their lineup will continue to do it. They're 5th in run scores. That's our old school analytics way of being like, that's really good. 8th in OPS. Man, the efforts. I mean, Scooble is on straight God mode right now. Have you seen the K to walk thing that's going on right now? Like Phil Hughes has the best ever K to walk at a little over 11, and Scooble right now is sitting at 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there for Phil Hughes' 2014 season. I loved it. Every part of it. Don't walk batters. Let's go. But Scooble, that was the story of this series. It was, look, hey, the Cubs, we know about their offense. It can be high powered. I actually really like them in Detroit. I know it's not a great place to hit homers, but there's a ton of room to drive the ball in the gaps there. But when you're going up against Scoobs, I mean, everything becomes tough. And Ben Brown had a really nice start against him. But Scooble outduels him, goes 7 2/3 with the one Ernie. And then in the bread games, like you mentioned, Flaherty looked nasty, dude. Curveball was spinning. He was spotting pitches up when he needed to. The only play that, I mean, who was it? It was Kerry Carpenter threw out someone at home on a Pete Kromshon single, and the Tigers end up shutting him out, which is a really nice play by him. I was going to mention their outfield. They got Kerry Carpenter there. Parker Meadows made a nice catch in this game as well, so it's like nice to have him out there and center field. Tigers, yeah, I guess, I always question, is that lineup going to continue? And Spencer Torkelson continues to make me look silly. He had a couple really, really nice swings, including that last game. Go get it. Yeah. We're watching Kerry Carpenter take one away. In the last game, Torkelson took it was the first game. No, it was the last game. The double that he hit to right center field would have been a homer in like almost every single park. But he's just staying consistent, big part of the field. Like when he gets a mistake, he's not missing it. And I think that's been the biggest difference in him. And tell me if I'm wrong, Tigers fans, but his ability now to do damage on pitchers' mistakes, I think, has been the change from years past. Like he's just not missing those pitches. So, I mean, the Tigers kind of showed exactly who they are as a team now. Bullpen was great starting pitching. And then, a couple big hits here and there, and they win these games. A couple of nice defensive plays. It was just a really, really good series for them. In the game the Cubs won, they just kind of had the long ball against my guy Cater, and that was it. But the Tigers, I feel like, they established some dominance here. The Cubs are a really, really good team. And to go take 2 out of 3 the way they did, I think, speaks for the longevity of who the Tigers can be.
Trev, I think the other thing with this series, you and I, we're businessmen. I talk about, listeners of the show know I own one silver stock. I like to spread my assets. Whoa. Weekend total, 121K in attendance. People rolled out. People are into this. Tigers team, and they should. And it's everything you mentioned because they do it in every facet of the game. They've got a little bit of star juice. They pitch all around. And then I think the other thing that we know that's always a baseball highlight, we got a little bit of an ump show. Nico Horner, who's not a he doesn't throw a lot of fits or mess with the umps. He gets an instant hook from home plate ump Derek Thomas that's just bad, just horrible umping. He's not even looking at him. Like that's tough.
I have more on that coming up later in the show. So I don't really want to get into it too much, but yes, that was very, very soft of the umpire. And I can't wait to tell you what I have concocted.
God, that's how we keep
your assets.
That's how we keep the people. It's the 6ix9ine app, huh? All right. Hey, let's rip the Band-Aid. The Boston Red Sox came to New York. The final 2 games, they put up double digits. Every Yankees pitcher got hit. In a way, this is supposed to be the version of the Red Sox we expected a little bit, but it's also, you're looking around Abraham Toro, Romy Gonzalez, Carlos Narvaez, that it's not necessarily the cast of characters you'd expect, but man, every time the Yankees looked like maybe they were having the comeback or they got the juice, another inning where they got rocked. Yeah,
a couple big innings for the Red Sox. I got the calculator out again, Jake. You love that when I do that.
I do, Trev. Go on.
I'm putting this out there, and I know I'm wrong here, but this has to be one of the worst series that the starting pitchers of both sides have ever had.
Yeah.
Walker Buehler goes 2 innings pitched, 5 earned runs. Will Warren, 5 1/3, 4 earned runs. Garrett Crochet, 6-5. Ryan Yarbrough, 4-8. Hunter Dobbins, 5-3. And Carlos Rodon, 5-5. So I calculated that out. Starting pitchers pitched to a 9.89 ERA in this series. Ain't good, coach.
Yeah.
And I had a great time watching the game, and also Joe's McFly reacting to the game last night. Just really, really, really good stuff. I don't know. I don't know what to say about the Red Sox. I feel like you get your Yankees talks out a lot. Red Sox need to. I feel like there are a few things they can do. I know Christian Campbell had a big homer in this series, but he also like kind of exuded a ball at second base. And like, is there? Everyone keeps talking about Roman Anthony,
right,
and how he should be up there. And I think if you put the best 26 guys on the field, he is going to be on there. Where do you play him? They got tough decisions to make. They're 3 games under 5 or 4 games under 500. Like, now's the time to make a move. If you're going to do something with Story, if you're going to do something with Campbell, like the time is now. You can't wait any longer. So I don't know if Roman Anthony's going to solve everything. I just talked about how abysmal the starting pitching was. So like there's that. You probably need to address that as well. But if you're really trying to give yourself a shot at this season, I think it's time to make some moves. You just won 2 out of 3 in the Bronx. You have a little bit of momentum. Like, add to that. That's called fuel to the fire. You know what happens when you add fuel to the fire, Jake? It gets bigger.
Okay.
Don't smother it.
Right. I
don't know, man. Your Yankee thoughts. There's Christian Campbell. I don't know would he really pimped that one and then was like, oh shoot, I better run, right?
I think he knew where he was playing. Like he put a good swing on it, and I think Yankee Stadium can be deceptive sometimes because I think that was listed 340 or something like that. Like that was a home run in a lot of ballparks. That wasn't just a porch job.
No, I want that guy to have success too. I'm just, what's the move? I don't know.
Yeah, The Roman Anthony thing is a little bizarre. He had a highlight over the weekend where he hit a 500-foot walk-off, 497. Sorry for exaggerating. I don't know. They can hit a ton. And like you saw it, Devers has been a one-dot player since Casas went down and the whole first base discussion started. They need some more pitching. And the Yankees got rocked this weekend, but you'd like to think it's an outfielder, and I've been poo-pooing, the San Diego conglomerate in our office is like, we're going to get Jarren Duran, and I was like, I don't know if the Red Sox, I don't know if you want to pay the price tag the Red Sox would want for Jarren Duran, who was like 9 WAR last year. I don't know. Again, I guess, Trev, there's a world where this is a good thing, and this is where the Red Sox-y part of it kicks in, because it's like, Devers. The whole Devers not playing first base thing, not playing third base, whatever. Cora feels like he's got a different personality this year. That he was like, I don't know if you saw the pregame interview, and Cora,
our guy Carl.
Yeah, your guy Carl, my sub, my replacement.
That's right.
Yeah, tapped out. Cora's like, yeah, I've got people texting me all the time, like, you okay, man? And I'm like, yeah, we're good. It's like, well, that's, I don't know. That's usually a bad sign. That's when people are recognizing something. Hey, they mashed this weekend. Carlos Narvaez looks like an absolute stud. What he's providing them from the catcher and the cleanup spot. There's another world where if the Red Sox keep winning series, we're like, oh, dude, they're deep, they're talented, they're playing the matchups. Romy Gonzalez and Abraham Toro are balling out for them. So
I kind of always liked Abraham Toro, for being honest. And this is kind of funny because the Red Sox have done this a couple of weeks in a row now. We were talking about Ceddanne Rafaela and be like, hey, like this guy's not hitting, and maybe we need to make a move there. He hits a couple homers or at least one homer. Has the walk-off at Fenway. And then the story was Christian Campbell, Trevor Story. We got to make a move there. And then these guys have 2 good games here to win the series. A couple of double-digit run games for the Red Sox. So it is an interesting time for them. And usually when you have too many good players, it's kind of what the Red Sox have. Like, position player-wise, they have too many guys that are big leaguers. And they need to figure out exactly what the best mixture of that is. But obviously they need help in the starting pitching catalog. And I don't know exactly where they get help for that, but I think we move on.
What happened in the great state of Minnesota this weekend? Because the Blue Jays came in, another series win. They've been doing a lot of that. They're currently in the playoff picture. And as I've told the people, I'm excited. Like, I like a lot of their veterans and now some of their kids. I guess what went What went wrong or what went right?
Well, I'll start with the Blue Jays, who I think they are finding like lineup depth. And, it sounds silly, but you need guys to step up. Like you need some of your like not stars to play well during a season, and that's when teams have good seasons. Okay.
Nice.
So for them, George Springer has really stepped it up.
Yeah.
He's had a really nice start to the year. He had a good series year. Tyler Heineman, again, still hitting over 400, takes Chris Paddock up top. You got guys like Addison Barger, who's, we talk about him all the time. Like he's having a really nice start to the season. They get Jimenez back. Things are going well for them on the offensive side. And their bullpen has been absolutely lights out over the last like 10 games. So like they're doing a lot of things right now. Last 2 weeks, second best bullpen ERA. It's a 1.79 for the Blue Jays. Their catchers, I mentioned Tyler Hyman, but Alejandro Kirk and him creating like a great offensive force, which I don't know if a lot of people had. I know Kirk has had good seasons before, but that's great. I don't know. They're getting contributions all throughout their roster, which is how you go on these runs. For the Twins, a couple big injuries for them and their pitching staff. That's going to be really tough. Lopez goes out. Zebby Matthews goes out. So now it's David Festa, Simeons, Woods, Richardson will be in the rotation. So they take a huge hit. Bailey Ober's kind of fighting his mechanics. He's talking about that. So, the Twins are going to have to, like, I feel like really step it up offensively. And they have the guys to do it, but it hasn't been super consistent for them. They're going to have to find their way. I think it's going to be a really telling time for the Twins over the next couple of weeks. But I think the Blue Jays are just playing really, really well right now. And the Twins are they're middling, I would say.
I would never say that. But
your favorite thing in the world to do?
What was that?
Middle.
Favorite thing. Okay, let's keep it going into Houston and Cleveland, because these are also kind of two expected playoff teams. Houston is out on top of the West with like a lead. It happened quick as our Mariners are heading the wrong way, and we could talk about their trip to Anaheim. Hey, I know he was part of the mix. The way Jeremy Pena is playing right now is just it's another level. Like I know you're laughing at yourself, and we roll our eyes because at the end of the day, you need guys to step up or play above their skis or bring something to the table. And what Jeremy Pena, 12-game hitting streak in the first game. He was 22 of 49 at one point. Like, he had elevated his game that if he becomes that big of a problem, and then that Astros lineup just becomes that more special. Look at that. Get down the line.
Love that play.
Get down the line.
Love that play. Gavin Williams not getting over there in time. Pena sniffs a hit, and he's going to beat him to the bag, and he does, man. I still don't love a head-first dive right there. Yeah. I know he's trying to avoid a tag, but in the situation or the way that Williams' body was right there, he wasn't going to turn around and tag him. But still, great effort. Yeah, you're right. Pena's been awesome. The second game, getting the extras, the Astros scored one on a wild pitch, then a single, and then they're able to shut the Guardians down. I honestly think this is a great job by the Guardians salvaging that last game. That's kind of what the Guardians do. Houston comes in, wins the first one, wins the second one in extras. It's okay, this could be bad, but the Guardians always kind of find a way to salvage it. Bo Naylor with a huge game there. Tanner Bybee looked really good in that game. But yeah, Houston, they're on the search for pitching help as well. They've been dealing with some injuries, but they get a nice start by Colton Gordon, not in my book.
Yeah.
And Brandon Walter, also not really in my book. And these guys kind of spin it for them. It's great. And you're right. 2.5 games above Seattle. They've basically gotten nothing from Altuve. Jordan's still on the shelf. They are finding ways to win, and Jeremy Pena has been obviously a huge part of that.
Yeah, offensively, it's been Pena and Paredes.
Yainer every once in a while steps in, does his thing.
Yeah, they need Altuve, Walker, Yiner, someone to go nuts. Or maybe one of the kids, Cam Smith. He had a big double in this series, and they called up their top outfielder prospect, Jacob Melton. He made a nice diving catch. Welcome to the show, kid. Let's see. They're going on to face the White Sox, Twins, and Athletics. So I think they're going to continue to roll. And yeah, I might get some Jimmy analytics on not if you're a team not being swept. Remember that was the Orioles calling card for a little while? Like they hadn't been swept since things have changed there a little bit.
Go get a big fella. Nice catch.
Right. Go get it, kid. Trev, I think the last one, and again, I don't know what you have on it, but if you were going to talk about Houston climbing the West, it's Seattle heading the wrong way in the West. They drop another series to the Angels, and hey, this Angels team we've talked about in a better light recently because, again, this lineup, if you took away the name of the franchise and we saw this lineup, like you said, it's like, hey, if Joe Adele clicks, it's like a sneaky, deep, nice young lineup.
So I think Angels fans will agree here. They got a showing here of like the best version of Angels baseball, like what it could be. I know that Seattle's struggling too, so that helps. But yeah, when you're getting contributions up and down the lineup, and you get decent starts, give your offense a chance to keep you in the game, give your bullpen a lead. Like this is the best form of Angels baseball. And yeah, I mean, Joe Adele's probably always going to be an enigma. Like he's just so streaky. Like he just goes on these runs like he's on right now, and then he just kind of falls all the way back down. I'm going to say they need to have him go, but you just can't count on that. But series to series, yeah, they can look good. And for Seattle, thank God George Kirby was there. I mean, 7 innings, 14 Ks to avoid the sweep. They're trying to find some stuff offensively. It's been obviously the Cal Raleigh show, then nobody really else. Every once in a while, Randy Arozarena will show up with a knock, or Polanco obviously has been struggling since this huge April, but like they don't have that lineup depth. In fact, I think I'd take, even with Cal the way he's been swinging, I would take the Angels lineup right now.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Taylor Ward, third in the AL in homers. Him and Judge, Fresno State teammates. Would you look at that? Yeah. Some cool George Kirby stats. This shouldn't make it all go away for Mariners, but 500 strikeouts in his career with just 68 walks. The only pitcher with fewer walks at the time of their 500th K. Koji Uehara wouldn't have gotten that one, if I'm being honest. And then Shane Bieber. That's kind of a nice Kirby comparison, but he's got a little more giddy up.
Crazy stat that I just saw on the sheet. Sure. I know we give Julio Rodriguez a lot of flack. Like, is he worth his contract? All these things. Is this a real stat?
Yeah.
He's got 90 homers and 96 career stolen bases in his first 4 seasons. Okay. He's only one of 4 players in MLB history with 90 plus homers or 90 plus stolen bases through his first full seasons. The other 3 are Bobby Bonds, Darryl Strawberry, and Mike Trout.
Yeah. Yeah, I almost had an old head take, and I'm not actually saying this because, dude, PCA, now every stat that PCA has is some sort of home run stolen base record. That I almost was like, okay, if we're seeing these every episode, because PCA, 200 games, third player to reach 25 homers, 100 RBI, and 50 stolen bases in 200 games. Again, very cool, and both these guys are amazing. But yeah, no, it is a good time to. Julio's very good. They need him to do more. That's we say that part too much. This robbery.
I don't think they need him to do more. Would you want him to be a freaking 900 OPS guy? Yes.
Sure.
But this guy is a center fielder who plays incredible defense as we're watching him rob a homer here.
Right.
He's obviously is a menace on the base pass as well. I think Seattle needs to start thinking about it in a little bit different light. Maybe not the fans, have your expectations. Fine. Front office. Julio is going to be a streaky hitter. And sometimes he's going to be right in the middle of your lineup driving in runs, and sometimes he's not. So, plan accordingly. That sounds like a pretty... that's the right way to think about Julio Rodriguez. I also if you can just pull up Cal Raleigh, I think it was his first homer. I believe it was Joe Adele just zooed it.
Like, oh yeah.
Like,
if I was
Cal's
a pitcher,
thank you for that one.
If I was a pitcher, I would not have loved Joe Adele's attempt at the robbery.
What happened?
Something when he's in the field, like, it feels like he gets like taken over by like venom or something like that. Like, I don't know.
I mean, that little yellow line they put out there. By the way, every single left-handed hitter that plays with a wall in right field, like all the Minnesota Twins hitters talk about that. Like, we need that yellow line. Like, what the heck is going on? But him to just sneak one. Here it is. Watch this. He's like, all right, hit that pretty good. And Giselle's right there.
Again, it's not easy. It's where we give Julio compliments.
That is easy. I'm sorry.
No.
For a center fielder, look at. I mean, that's it. You got to make that catch.
The attempt looks very gentle. I don't know.
He just had to stop right there and lift his glove up. He like overran it, kind of.
Maybe he's a Cal Raleigh fan. I don't know what that is. It's an attempt.
Okay. Last thing before we move on to NL, I told Bobo to get a few clips. Shout out the Rays.
Marlins.
They took 2 out of 3. You know, it's a decent series, actually. Drew Rasmussen finally gave up his runs. He had a big streak going there. But I saw 2 of the worst outfield throws I've ever seen. This right here is, what are we doing? Look at this throw.
Where's this end up? Oh, no.
What? How is that even a thing? It almost ended up at first base.
Yeah, that was like, maybe that was like a power change-up grip.
Bobo. Show that again.
How's it come out of the hand here?
Not good.
Didn't have the line. Did not have the line.
And then there's a Dane Myers one later in the game, and he's like supposed to have like a really good arm. Obviously, he can go get it in center field, but then this is a shallow pop fly by Brandon Lau, and then look at this throw.
This one was tough because the announcer teed it up. He's like, "Oh, this is gonna be great. Myers has a great arm. Caballero running, and it's just
a third of the way up the line. Like, what's going on here, guys?
I mean, maybe we've got a minor league wind tunnel or something because I don't know. We're both up the first baseline, but that's nothing. It's not competitive.
I just saw those throws and I said, "Oh my goodness! Like, these are big leaguers."
Oh my!
I mean, obviously, did I make some throwing errors my day? Yes, but I had to talk about.
Do you have one that sticks out?
A throwing error?
Yeah.
I mean, not really.
Okay.
I mean, they're all just kind of like around the bag, from third base or shortstop, just like bad throws. I don't know.
That's again, this is a bad one, but the freshman JV baseball field at our high school, just the way it was set up behind first base, there was a massive gap in the fence that led to the football field. And it was so daunting as a third baseman being like, if you throw it, it's 2. Like, it's not, it gets by him, it hits the fence. That's
a run onto the football field and get the ball, or is it a dead ball?
Dead ball.
Okay. But
it was just, if I go to purgatory before hell or wherever I end up going, like, it's me playing third base and it's just trying to make that throw. Anyways.
Purgatory, huh? Okay.
Yeah. I'm aiming a little higher these days. Let's do the National League, little sweep week. And, Coach, we might have to fly you to Atlanta before the All-Star game because the Braves, it's getting late early. They lose 3 one-run games to the San Francisco Giants, and 2 of them in walk-off fashion. Matt Chapman, 2 outs. Do we lose the game? No. Let's win it. He walks him off. My goodness, Bryce Elder gave an amazing start. It doesn't matter right now. The Braves are in a scary place in the standings. Trev will show you. The Philadelphia Phillies got swept by the Pittsburgh Pirates. Clear the deck. Raise the Jolly Roger. Skeens Day goes according to plan. Him and Christopher Sanchez have a nice little pitching duel. Henry Davis hammering Hank. Is he happening? Hey, good for the Pirates. Kutch with a clutch hit. The Phillies, I think they're 1-9 in their last 10. What the hell's going on out there? The Diamondbacks, they get swept by the Cincinnati Reds. This series is light torture for me. Christian Encarnacion Strand was all over this series, a home run in every game. We got a rain delay pushing the game to the next day, and this is a little more hell for the Diamondbacks. They try to find their way out. They get swept. Reds, don't bring me back. Don't bring me back if you're going to do this to me. They get a nice sweep. Cardinals take 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. Sonny Gray, ace adjacent, 6.1 shutty. Hey, we get some Clayton Kershaw on the last day, and every time he pitches now, he's hitting cool milestones, so that's fun. But good for the Cardinals. They win a series. Nolan Gorman with a big game in that second one. Tommy Edman return. Nice applause from the crowd. Good baseball cities. Sure. Padres, they take 2 out of 3 from Milwaukee. They have 2 shutouts in the bread games. They have 12 shutouts on the season. 12 games they didn't let the other team score. It's early June. 6-9. But you know who they couldn't out 6-9? Caleb Durbin. Mighty Mouse. The walk-off homer. You love to see that. Padres take 2 of them. The Rangers take 2 out of 3 from the Nationals. Jacob deGrom, 7-inning shutout. Patrick Corbin, 8 innings, 2 in a loss. But man, Marcus Semien has started to hit. Thank God. Couple multi-hit games in this one. And they win a series. And the Mets, they sweep the Colorado Rockies, and that's obvious. Pete the Meat Alonso, 2nd in Mets home runs. Ronnie Mauricio called up to the show. He homers, longest Mets homer of the year. How do you like that? Good team beats bad team. Juan Soto got on base 6 times in one game. That is what happened in the National League.
Attaboy, Pop. Way to go, man. Can't wait to talk about Ben Kasparius and Mason Wynn. I have the standings for the National League, and because it's Monday and it's 6-9 day, I'm going to start off out west, Pop. That's where I'm located at Magnum Condom Studio. The Dodgers, a 1-game lead in the division, 39-27 for them. The Padres, 37-27. The Giants, 38-28. The Diamondbacks, L3 to their name, 31-34, 7.5 games back of the division. The hour is late for the Diamondbacks. They have some decisions upcoming, Jake. I got to be honest with you. And the Rockies, 12-53. Holy shit. In the Central, the Cubs, 40-25, 4 games above the St. Louis Cardinals, who are 36-29. The Brewers, 35-31. Reds, right at 500. They're pulling you back, Jake. Calling your name like the sirens in the Odyssey. That's what they're in. The Pirates, 26-40, even after that sweep. And then out east, the New York Mets, 42-24, 4.5 games up on the Phillies, who have gone 1-9, while the Mets have gone 8-2 in the last 10. Phillies 37-28. The Nationals 30-35. The Braves, are they dead? We are going to talk about it. 27-37, 14 games back. The Marlins 24-39. In the wild card in the National League, right now, the Padres, the Giants, and the Phillies all occupy the spots. The Padres and Giants tied a half game above the Phillies. The Cardinals threatening 36-29. They're 1 game back. The Brewers are 2.5 games back. And then I'll throw the Reds in there. They're sitting at 500. They're 4.5 games back at the last wild card spot. And those are the standings in the National League.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Trev, this was my NL wildcard thing before. If this was the final, baseball doesn't work like this, but if this was the final NL playoff, I guess 6 teams even, at this point, I don't know if I'd be surprised anymore. Cardinals.
It would be a pretty fun playoffs in the National League if these were the teams.
That's a pretty good draw. We will see. There's a lot of baseball. Come on, Reds, bring me back. And
are those? I'm just looking right now, and I'm almost positive of this. Well, Braves throw a wrench in that, maybe. 6 biggest payrolls in the National League? Seems to me like they would be.
Let's see. Mets,
Cubs, yes. Dodgers,
Padres,
yes.
Giants,
Phillies, yes. Giants, yes. Padres, yes.
Yeah.
I just don't know about the Cubs. I feel like They don't have a lot of huge contracts.
They started paying some guys. They got Dansby, King Tuck, Happer. Yeah. Okay, we'll get some research on that. Yeah, interesting. Spend, people.
They are 7th.
Look at that.
Cubs are 7th.
Okay. Hey, go see any of those teams with SeatGeek. Today's episode is brought to you by SeatGeek. Pretty much every episode is brought to you by SeatGeek because there are our partners in their MLB's official ticket marketplace. And we talk baseball most episodes. Sometimes it's simulation, sometimes it's investing, sometimes it's life. But a lot of times it's baseball. And our partners at SeatGeek, you can now get 10% off any tickets with code TALKIN2025. The number 1 rated ticketing app, 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek. Concerts, sports, festivals, whatever you want to go see. Each ticket is shown 1 to 10. Green, good, red, bad. You know how to use the app now. Go see a game. Summer's here. Summer in the city, baby. Talkin 2025, 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. Thanks, SeatGeek. All right, Coach. Hey, let's do this then. Giants, again, this should be giving them their flowers, and they're winning a lot of one-run games this year. And that's a mix of bullpen. That's a mix of clutch hitting and the stuff we like to do. I think we should talk about them, but unfortunately, probably more time is going to be spent on the Braves because, my God, like, I don't know. I think we keep expecting that they've hit a rock bottom and there's going to be a turn. It feels less and less like that every day.
You know, there were some quotes by Snicker, and he's, everyone's talking about him being on the hot seat here. Although I don't necessarily really understand that. Like, again, this guys, they've been to the playoffs how many years in a row? They've been a great team, especially the regular season over the last 7-8 years. Like, they've just really done it. This year obviously has not gotten off. They haven't gotten off to the start that they wanted to, but a lot of it's just, I think it's roster related, man. Like, was Nick Allen supposed to be your starting shortstop? And no offense to him, the guy can freaking pick it out there. But this is a team that's been struggling to hit. Michael Harris has to step it up. A guy like Eli White probably wasn't supposed to be in the lineup every single day. And again, I'm not trying to pick on these guys. We were talking about the Atlanta Braves, and they're struggling offensively, runners in scoring position, all those numbers. And I think a lot of it just has to do with the roster. So, like, Snicker can't really do anything about that. You can question some of his in-game decisions, whatever you want to do. But a lot of it has to just do with the guys that, are on the team. Like, they have to step it up, or, Anthopoulos has to figure something out and switch things up. I don't know exactly what they do. But I think that's really the crux of the Braves problem is I just don't think their roster right now is that good. And the guys that are supposed to, like, really carry this team, like Ozzie Albies is underperforming. I mentioned Michael Harris. Like, those guys need to be exceptional ball players, and right now they're just kind of not being that.
Braves are 9-19 in one-run games. I mean, how bad? 3 wins in a 17-game span. That hasn't happened since 2016 when Snicker replaced Freddie Gonzalez at the managerial helm, and now Freddie Gonzalez is the team's third base coach. If you want to do some fan fantasy stuff there, I don't know. The Orioles, when they were playing really bad and kind of set the tone for their season, there was like just a hint of sadness, like not to go full Manalytics. Dude, the Ozzie Albies boot in the final game. Just sad baseball, and I don't know how you shake that, and I don't know, like you're saying, there's times we see teams switch the manager, and that does give a different energy to it, but at the same time, what are we really doing? I don't know. Pierce Johnson with a tough weekend, wild pitch to lose the game in extras, and then he gives up the walk-off to Matty Chapman, which... if you want to see a team that likes being in close games and is having fun at the baseball park, that would be the San Francisco Giants.
Giants are awesome. They're playing great ball, getting contributions up and down the lineup. My guy Chappie with a couple big knocks there. Yeah, I mean, look, this one is I'm happy for the Giants. They continue to hold court. They're coming in a huge stretch for them because I think they're playing the Dodgers 6 of their next 9 games, I believe. It's 9. It's a big episode here. Yeah, man. Look, I think what people don't realize about the Giants is, and you know, I think we've mentioned it a few times. Like, their pitching is outstanding. Enough so, like, the offense doesn't have to be great, and it hasn't been great. And I know Buster Posey pulled a couple strings, and they've won a bunch of games since he's done it. Dom Smith, a couple sack flies here. But if their offense, like if freaking Willie Adames can get it going, and Chapman can continue to do what he's done in this series, like they have enough offensive players. Like what we said about them at the beginning of the season was it's a lineup of veteran hitters that are going to give you good at bats. That's all they have to do. If these guys actually put up good at bats, the bullpen and the starting pitching will carry this team. Like, just go out there and just put up decent at bats, and you're going to win series. This is what they did here.
Right.
That's all they did. 3 1-run games. Like, the Giants have a formula.
Well, not to go heavy on the people, but belief. I think they've walked off 25% of their home games this year.
8 walk-offs in 32 games, yeah.
So, like, that's just a feeling that actually resonates with a team. Like,
well, no, that is your bullpen keeping you in the game.
Well, yeah, I guess I didn't have to go full spiritual on everyone, but in a way, like, as a team, you just feel that. And if you're in a close game in the 8th inning, you're like, all right, we're gonna get this one. Like, don't let us get a runner on base. Don't. And Matt Chapman, man, I mean, jaws of defeat to the thrill of victory. That was a fun one. I guess let's chip away at what you said. You've got this Dodgers-Cardinals note. I'm dying to hear it, bro.
Oh, no, it's just a play that I thought was awesome.
Okay.
It was Mason Wynn. I want to shout out Mason Wynn.
Love Mason Wynn.
It was Alec Burleson hit a ground ball off of Ben Kasparius, who pitches every single game for the Dodgers. I don't know how that happens. But Mason Wynn scored from second on. I thought it was a really cool play. And Freddie Freeman even made a decent attempt at it because Kasparius threw the ball up the line. If Bobo can get that one up, it was great. I love the way the Cardinals are playing, man. They're a lot of fun to watch. They play great defense. They're taking advantage of the Dodgers' mistakes here, and then they have the starting pitching. I mean, Sonny Gray and Fetty freaking shoved in this series to get the victory. But that play was awesome. Like, Mason Wynn, I think, is a guy that we don't talk about enough.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah.
He's a young shortstop who's like dominating the league.
I would have him on.
Watch this play. He sees Kasparius just wing it over, gone. And Freddie makes a nice play to get back on track. But
yeah, that's a good first baseman.
You cannot hesitate on that. And Mason Wynn did not. Like, he's going. As soon as he sees him turn his back to throw the ball, he gone.
I'm a big. I think if I was putting a team together of, like, oh well, it's even better this year. Like, Baseball Savant and like some of the numbers didn't love Mason Wynn. Like, they would point to him as a potential regression guy because some of his stuff are low. But I think it's also how he plays baseball, and a lot of his numbers have gone up this year from that standpoint. That I think he's just a ball player and a dog. And you're right. And maybe that's, again, St. Louis. I did that whole, hey, if this playoff picture were to sit, St. Louis should be the team that's maddest because they're 1 game out right now. And like, since going back over a month, if you start at May 4th, they've been the best team in the National League. So maybe got to start putting a little more respect on their name. Pedro Pages.
A little bit more on the pitching coming up later. The game 2 was the best game. I mean, it's Yamamoto versus Fetty. That was the game that Mason Wynn, takes that extra base right there, scores a run. The Dodgers actually tie the game on a wild pitch strikeout to Freddie Freeman. Ohtani scores. So if you're a Cardinals fan, you're like, what the shit?
Nightmare.
That is not what we need. But Nolan Arenado comes to save the day. Walk-off. I don't even know what you call that. I guess it's a walk-off single.
Yeah.
It's like a fly ball to the wall that nobody was there for. You got to touch second base. Everybody knows that.
Yeah. Got to get that OPS up.
Go touch second.
Get that OPS up.
Yeah. But great series for the Cardinals, man. I think we really have to. They're one game out of the playoff spot right now.
Yeah.
We're very excited for what's going on in St. Louis, and shout out Katie Woo. Although there was some, why is everyone bagging on Clayton Kershaw? We had
interesting.
The Clayton Kershaw crying meme in San Diego,
right?
And then we had this. They kept running this as a Matt Adams homer, and apparently, and tell me, Cardinals fans, if you were in the building, let me know if this is wrong. Apparently, they ran that highlight for like several minutes before the game.
That's slippery.
Like one time is fine. Like
right.
we get it. Like you could show your highlights. I have no problem with that. Once you start like repeating it, it's like,
yeah,
it seems a little disrespectful. And you know what? Sports is sports. You want to have rivalries, all these good things. But I don't really like it when like the ballpark.
Yeah.
What do you even call those people? The in-game entertainment section of the Cardinals organization is bagging on Kershaw. Like, come on.
It's tough. He's just,
you know what I really like? Like Hunter Dobbins talking shit about the Yankees.
Right.
Love that.
Right.
Need more of that.
Yeah.
Like the in-game entertainment crew.
You don't think they should be involved in the smack?
Probably doesn't need to go toe-to-toe with Clayton Kershaw. That's just my opinion. Tell me if I'm wrong.
You don't think they can bring the smoke? I see what you're saying. I'm interested. And hey, Kershaw, 20th all-time in strikeouts, passes Greinke. Mookie Betts starting to swing the stick. Trev, you half were on it before. The Dodgers have San Diego, San Francisco, San Diego.
Oh, okay, San Diego plays them.
That is going to be a hot topic this week. Another hot one, Trev. I don't know how much of a dive there is. The Pirates sweep the Phillies, and the Phillies are just in baseball hell right now. They can't buy a bucket.
Yeah, I mean, they just haven't hit. Now, Bryce Harper, he got hit by Strider, elbow was hurting, came back from that, didn't do much. Now the wrist is bothering him, so he's on the IL. But the rest of the guys just really haven't stepped it up offensively. And I think, look, like I said about Angels fans, this is the best version of the Pirates. Like, they don't score a ton of runs, but they have the pitching to keep them in games. We all know that. So all you got to do is put a few crooked numbers up. They didn't even really need to do that this series because the pitching was so damn good. And as soon as it turned to, hey, the Pirates have a chance to sweep with Paul Skeens on the mound, I mean, I think everyone knew kind of what was going to happen. Even Don Kelly got booed, taking him out of the game, which is kind of funny. But yeah, happy for the Pirates.
Yeah.
They needed something like this.
Okay.
Right?
Kinda.
But I think this is more on the Phillies. They are falling out of, contention for the NL East, 4.5 games back.
Oh.
Now you're talking about a huge streak here where the offense has just gone completely cold. I wonder sometimes, Jake, and I love a veteran team. I wonder sometimes, these guys are really veteran.
Oh.
Are they is the hunger there in June for them? I don't know. And I'm not, it'll be there in September and then in October. But when you played the game for so damn long, what are you really feeling about in a game in Pittsburgh and, beginning of June? Maybe the attention to detail or I don't know, the T levels weren't so high. I think they got to figure that aspect out a little bit.
Interesting.
Yes or no?
I didn't think you'd go there. I don't know. I mean, I don't. I'd be interested to get young Otto Kemp's opinion as he's playing some third base for him. That's got to be intimidating to be on that team a little bit. I don't know. I was gonna ask you if you've been on a team that the lineup's good, but baseball's just beating you down, because it just happens. But it's darker than you would ever think it would get for this Phillies team.
They've averaged 2.4 runs in their last 9 losses. They've been outscored 57-22. They've gone 1-7 without Harper. There's a ton of bad stats for the Phillies right now.
It's no bueno.
But, again, if you're a Pirates fan, it's the best version of your team. You saw it.
Trev, Padres, Brewers. I mentioned the shutout stat that shook me up because that's a form of dominance that's really hard to achieve. That's not making one bad pitch. 12 shutouts this season, and they have them in 2 of these games. Is it Burgert or Burjay? That's not how it's said. Hey, San Diego, Randy Vasquez and Ryan Burgert. Okay. And as long as they give their bullpen a chance, they're good. And Manny Machado with his signature, just beautiful home run.
Yeah, this is a really fun series. Yeah. Obviously, the offense wasn't there, but you don't need that for a great series. You mentioned your guy Caleb Durbin. That was awesome. I thought I had some notes from this game too. Let's see.
Okay.
Let me just get them up for you real quick.
Have you told the people that you're now you're talking to your phone for notes?
No, I'm dictating notes to my phone. Is that a version of AI? I think so.
You or the phone?
The phone.
Makes you think, though, right?
Makes you think just a little bit. Oh, yeah. So, 1-1 game, bottom 8th. There's an infield single and a catcher's interference, and then I think a walk. So the Brewers were able to load this is game 2. We're able to load the bases without hitting the ball at the infield. And then we get Hoskins. He hits a sac fly to give them a 2-1 lead. They get a bloop single, makes it 3-1 for them. And they just, in that inning, had all those things happen. So a infield single, catcher's interference, a walk, a sac fly, and a bloop single. All of a sudden they're ahead. And that's just baseball.
Brewers baseball.
Put the ball in play, people. Good things happened. I'm trying to think. I had something else on this too. Oh, great at bat by Arise.
Okay.
To get the game tied. That was incredible. Double down the line. A great at bat by him, and then Brewers ended up winning it. But game 2 was a really fun game to watch.
I forgot he's again, just with how baseball spins. I was looking at something later in the show. I'll tease the people. I forgot he's a free agent at the end of the year. That this is
Arise.
Yeah, this is I don't know. It's an interesting free agent class. Here we go.
Great about off McGill down the line. And then it should be mentioned, Caleb Durbin didn't waste any time in the bottom of the 9th.
No need.
First pitch he sees. See you later.
Don't put it there.
That is such a great feeling if you're the home team. It's like, yes. Boom.
Brewers 14-6 over their last 9. So I don't think they're broken, but man, San Diego, the way they can throw the ball. Trev, we're in it deep. I mean, I have some Reds D-back stuff coming up in a little bit, but I'd love to get some of your thoughts. I feel like we always leave the Nats behind, but they lose a series and everyone sweeps the Rockies, so I don't know.
As far as Reds, who'd they play?
D-backs.
Reds D-backs, exactly. You're going to talk about the Reds and kind of like the star of the show later, which is great. For the D-backs, like I mentioned, man, they have some decisions to make, Jake. They really, really do. And, I think Zach Gallen gave up 3 homers in his start. Like, it's just they have to figure out what they're going to do with these guys in the walk-year. If they feel like they can contend and get back in this thing, great. But it's not really looking like the Diamondbacks baseball that we're used to here.
I mean, before this, they swept the Braves, and then they come in. And
but the Braves stink right now.
Exactly. D-backs have the Mariners and Padres coming up at a homestand. Hey, if they can outlast the Mariners, Padres, and Blue Jays, they have the Rockies and the White Sox and the Marlins. So July 1, let's see where you're at, Snakes. But it's been the same thing. And Reds, I got some more Reds coming up. I think we keep it grooving, Big Daddy.
Let's keep it moving.
6-9.
It's time for Standout Performances. Standout Performances. This guy stood out for Trev.
Say what?
Standout Performances is brought to you by BetterHelp. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Men today face immense pressure. Perform, provide, keep it all together. So it's no wonder 6 million men in the U.S. suffer from depression every year. often undiagnosed. It's okay to struggle. We all do. The strength comes from opening up about what you're carrying and doing something about it. BetterHelp, the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. It's convenient, too. You can join a session with a therapist at a click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life. Plus, switch therapists at any time. The largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with diverse variety of expertise. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/TalkinBaseball. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TalkinBaseball. Trev?
I am going to go with a former teammate of mine. And you know what? No shame in my game. There's not, eventually, Jake, there's going to be a time where I have 0 teammates left.
Yeah, I'm there.
0 guys that I played with in the game left. And that's going to be really, really sad for me.
Okay.
That's why I make friends with all the young guys. Pete Armstrong, what's up, dog?
Right.
Sonny Gray.
Oh,
Sonny Gray had a really, really nice
wow.
outing for the Cardinals against the Dodgers. 6 1/3 innings pitched, 8 hits, no runs, 5 Ks. He is like the model of consistency throughout his career. And like, I don't really ever put him in my ace category, but like, why not? Like, he is just going to give you consistently good outings. 4 straight quality starts for him. Last 4 games, Jake, 25 1/3 innings pitch, 3 earned runs, 30 Ks to 2 walks. So 107 ERA, a .94 whip. He is absolutely fucking dealing right now. So,
Hard enough.
it's Sunny Day, baby. You got to give it to him. I love it. So shout out, Sonny Gray.
Sonny Gray. You know what? I love Sonny Gray. It's a bummer that his Yankee time period went down how it did. And there's some Larry Rothschild stuff there.
The Yankees, Sonny Gray, get out of here,
defending him. You didn't use your ears.
Last 4 games, Detroit, he went 6 innings pitched, 10 Ks. Against Arizona, 6 innings pitched, 5 Ks, 3 runs. That's the worst start. Then he goes into Texas, 7 innings pitched, 10 Ks. Then I mentioned against the Dodgers. Those are not bad teams that he's doing that against.
I was defending Sonny Gray because he got caught up in some Larry Rothschild 1800s pitching
I was
coach
being like
stuff.
the comment section saying, stop talking about the Yankees.
You just don't. You've got this TikTok attention span that if you just listen to me. Love Sonny Gray. Sneaky dog, high school quarterback. And hey, a now Reds adjacent Sonny Gray. As you teased, I'm going with Christian Encarnacion Strand. He comes off the IL. Stay tuned. Find out who else came off the IL coming up in a little bit. Encarnacion Strand, he hits a homer in the 6th inning of the game that gets rain delayed and pushed to the next day. He hits the walk-off in that game later that day. He homers in every game in this series. The Reds have needed some hitting. Their offensive numbers have landed in a better place on the whole as a season than you'd expect. But I thought it was interesting. I was reading a Mark Feinsand article that was like, had him as a trade candidate because they were like, yeah, they're not sure where to play this guy, and he hasn't really hit since his rookie year. He won every game this weekend, basically, for the Cincinnati Reds, which I feel like the past couple weeks or episodes I've talked about how, we talk about how guys need to step up and have special performances because that's what wins you ball games outside of your star players. He did that, and I don't know what it means for the Reds. Trev, I got a couple weird ones for you. You tell me what this is. Christian Encarnacion Strand is 6 for 10 with 2 homers and 4 walk-off winners in his career with a chance to end the game for a win. Does that make sense?
Like in those situations, he crushes the ball.
Yeah, I guess.
Does it make sense that he's like that?
No, I guess for me, I was talking about the stat that I don't know how we're even tracking that. Like just potential game-winning at-bats. That's a weird one for me.
I think if you really break it down, it's not as weird as you'd think.
Okay.
You have a chance to win the game if you're the winning run.
Right. Or if the winning run's on base. Okay, that's easier to track than I thought. And it was a big weekend. 7 for 13, 3 homers. Not too shabby. So We'll see. I think people know where I am with the Reds. I need them to fully win me over because I've just been slightly too hurt by them. And I don't know. I still don't know if they have a path, man, because you got to jump the Cardinals. You got to jump the Cubs. You got to jump the rest of the NL West. But if Encarnacion Strand starts playing like this, then we're going to be talking about him.
Yeah, and Matt McLean had a big hit. Like, he needs to go for them. I was just talking with some Twins executives not too long ago. I forget when it was. We were talking about that trade. Spencer Steer, Christian Encarnacion Strand, and Malley came over and was hurt, and now he's crushing. But they were talking about that as an example and about how they kind of got crushed in the media. And we were talking about, they're like, those guys, they're good ball players, but they really haven't done anything exceptional to make us really regret the trade.
Right.
Twins have plenty of outfielders. They don't need any more. And I just thought it was funny because all of a sudden here's CES just winning a series by himself.
Yeah. Not bad. Not bad. Man, Trev, I feel, Joe Adele always gets his love. Tyler Heineman could have been. He stood out. Jack Kaggs. There's a lot of guys. I'm hoping some of them are on this next list.
Dirt nasties on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
I might put Tyler Heineman on this list.
Yeah.
Because he's my guy.
Hell
400. Yeah. Put one in the seats. Love that for him. But we're going to start off with Jeff McNeil, who I believe has the most odd bat in all of baseball. It's a torpedo bat with no handle. So he's just uses a gimmick bat, basically. Right. Love that for him. In the series, 5 for 12, 3 homers. He recorded his third career multi-homer game and his first since July 19th, 2024. That's the Mets are rolling, and McNeil is a big part of it this series. Abraham Toro, always loved him. 7 for 13 against the Yanks, 3 doubles, a homer, and 3 runs driven in, 3 runs scored as well. Alex Call, nice series, 4 for 8. Outfielder for the Nats, if you don't know. 4 for 8, 2 homers in the series. Henry Davis goes 4 for 11 with 2 homers and a double. For the week, you mentioned your guy, Joe Dell. Here he is. 6 for 19, 4 homers, only 5 runs driven in. You got to hate that. When you go on a homer run like that, you're like, you guys get on base for me. What's going on with that? Vinny.
Hey.
Our guy, Vinny P. 13 for 26. Quick, what's that average?
500.
Yeah. 2 homers, 7 runs driven in. Over the last 3 weeks, so beginning May 19th, he's hitting 435. It's second in the big leagues, only behind, of course, Jacob freaking Wilson.
Jesus.
Speaking of the A's, our guy Elbutt.
Yeah.
Freaking absolute stud. 12 for 28 during the week, 6 doubles, a homer, 5 runs driven in, 22 doubles on the season. Is tied for the most in the big leagues with Bobby Witt Jr. Jazz Chisholm. He's on the list. How do you feel about that?
He's swinging. He's swinging the stick.
Okay. Had the air mic'd up, which I don't fault him for. You're going to make an air. Just so happened to be mic'd up. Right. I thought it was really... Yankee fans are just hilarious.
People want to be mad about stuff.
I want everyone to go back to your Yankee fans that you follow on Twitter and go like the first 2 innings after Judge hits that homer, what you guys were saying.
Hey, man, I hope Harvey Pippins has a great career, but it's ballsy for him to come in and talk like that. I'm happy for him.
We need more stuff like that in sports. Anyway, Chisholm, 8 for 21, 2 homers, 7 runs driven in. Jesus Sanchez of Miami went 8 for 22 with 3 doubles, a homer, and 9 runs driven in. Attaboy. One was helped by that horrendous throw. Who was in center right there?
I think it was Meisner.
It was Meisner. I'm pretty sure it was too. Sheesh. And that leads us to the pitchers who shoved in a single game. And how about Patrick freaking Corbin? 8 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. He got the loss, but it was a complete game. Okay. It was his first complete game since 2022, and it was against his old team. Like, that's amazing to do that, right?
Yeah, that does feel good.
Like I don't know. Like, he got paid so much money by the Nationals, so I don't think there's he doesn't have any ill will towards them. They probably have ill will towards Patrick, and he goes in and shoves, and the front office is probably like, where was that?
Right.
and they're probably calling down to their pitching analysts and all the guys, and they're saying, you guys missed something. What's going on? Speaking of that, Michael Soroka goes 6 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 7 Ks, first start of at least 6 innings and 0 earned runs since July 24th, 2020. He's dealt with a ton of injuries, obviously. We're always rooting for our guy, Mike Soroka, who was with Atlanta. And we move on to a guy that pitches for Atlanta, Bryce Elder. 8 innings pitched on Saturday, 1 earned run, 12 Ks. His team did get the loss. He's the first Braves pitcher, Jake, with 12 Ks over at least 8 innings pitched since Spencer Strider in 2022. And then 2 more. Adrian Hauser, pitcher for the White Sox, formerly of the Brew Crew, the Puker. I think that's how everyone knows
Senor
him.
Puke, yeah.
6 innings pitched, only 1 earned run, 6 Ks. He's recorded 4 quality starts in 4 starts with the White Sox this season. It's the longest streak of his career. And you mentioned the White Sox are hot now?
Yeah, hey. It's a different brand of baseball. Do with that what you will.
Does Chase Mydroth, who's one of my favorite players in the league, he has a thick neck, or he wears a chain or a puka shell necklace that's too small.
Oh,
Either
interesting.
one.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be an optical illusion there. Nick Martinez really did it for the Reds. He went 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 6 Ks. He's got an in-zone percentage of 68.8% when he's behind in the count, so he's getting back in the count a lot, which helps the pitcher. And those are the people who are in Fuego and the pitchers who stood out, Jake.
Hey, I'm going to say this high and tight because we're nice cats. Some of Chase Mydroth's pictures do not do him any favors.
He's the new Cody Bell. He looks high all the time.
Bob, can you bring up, he's got a Red Sox prospect pick that if you just Google Chase Mydroth, like, okay, the first pick that comes up is him in San Diego. He looks like a chiller. The hair looks flowing, like good. Like that's a young ball player.
Pick.
That's Rob, bring up his Red Sox pick because I don't like. It feels like he got punked by the cameraman or something. Like, what is this? This looks like a JM Warehouse athlete. This guy's a ball player. This guy's a stud.
You know what? I'll defend this one a little bit because they're taking these pictures at 7 a.m. sometimes, especially him. He probably had the earliest slot.
Yeah.
As a young guy. And then you're like, do I wear batting gloves when I hold this bat? Like, it's a weird decision. I can't fault anyone for their spring training pictures, bro. It's brutal.
Yeah, again, I'm trying to do this as tastefully. Oh, he's got another Red Sox. Bob, there's one below that where he's holding the bat above his head. I don't know. In this house, we rep Chase Mydroth.
We're Chase Mydroth stands
yes.
at this show.
We want to show him proper respect. I think the neck is thick, by the way.
Okay.
I do think that. Okay, great stuff, per usual, Coach. I do, unfortunately, have some batters. It's a tough pose.
He needs to come on the show.
Let's get him on.
Yeah.
Batters who are struggling.
Hey man, you've been struggling lately. It's time to pick it up.
It's intense. I feel like, do I have that intensity? I'll try to. With the left side of the Texas Rangers infield, Corey Seager's back. He's hitless in his last 25 at-bats.
As Marcus Semien has begun to tear it up, Corey Seager is falling into oblivion. That's the Rangers season.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Josh Young with the thick neck in baseball, he's 6 for 44. Can't hit the low fastball right now. Fellas, if the light bulb goes on in Texas, sounds like a good country song. Connor Norby. Speaking of the left side, Norby really struggling with 2 strikes the past couple weeks. Lowest on-base percentage in the NL in that frame. 6 for 43. Yikes. Teoscar. Hey, it happens to everyone, man. 749. The relief pitchers are getting him this year. 215 OBP versus relievers. Lowest in the NL. Interesting. Bryson Stott, him and a lot of his Philadelphia teammates could have made this list a 7 for 43 himself. Hey, fellas, let's get you off that list. We'll see you in Fuego soon. Let's go to the IL. And again, we're going to bottom out so we could come back up. Hedges, our guy, concussion IL. Let's get him back. Shea Bangeliers, an oblique, 4 to 6. Reach out, Trev. You're the oblique guy.
I am the oblique expert.
Zeke Tovar, oblique. Trev, talk to these kids. Know what they need? They need a couple cervezas. That's enough of the ab workouts. Like, come on. Tony Gonsolin, Catterday, right elbow discomfort. Ooh, scary. Bryce Harper went to the IL, right wrist inflammation. He missed 5 games after getting hit by a Strider fastball. Obviously, let's see how that develops. You mentioned Zebby Matthews for your Minnesota Twins with some right shoulder stuff. We got a couple relievers. Jesus Tinoco, will he be a deadline piece? Coming back from the IL. And again, this is where it can matter. Christian Encarnacion Strand. That has mattered. He is back. Ramon Laureano for the Birds. Erod for the Snakes. Young Jacob Young for the Nationals. Kopech and Yates in that Dodger bullpen. Danny Colom, your guy.
Needed him.
And Trent Thornton, here's a who for Seattle. Can we start everyone's week?
Awards.
Trev?
The heck's Kelsey up to?
Right? I was gonna message her the other day. Oh, she reposted on Instagram that one of the series there was a penguin on the mound.
Oh yeah,
White Sox series. There was a penguin on the mound.
He threw out the first pitch, obviously.
Right. I was gonna tell her, is that what I look like when I pitch? Which I was kind of.
The Penguins have such a unique, just total opposite ends of the spectrum for these Penguins. Like this guy is absolutely living the life. There's Penguins in South Africa that go get bread for the locals and
I watched that.
A fish, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I watched.
They're living their best life.
There was some
other Penguins just have it the worst, dude.
Who are they?
Oh, I just happen to live in shark-infested waters.
Oh.
Or, hey, these orcas are just chasing me all over the place. What?
Their natural habitat.
I want to be can I be the Penguin that throws out the first pitch of the White Sox game instead of just running for my life all the time?
Yeah, I think I tend to agree with you. It's a great
guy.
That's a great shot there. He's having a blast.
And to answer your question, yes, that is what you look like.
And yeah, I watched, I forget what that was. There was a 4-part reality Penguin TV show about those penguins.
March of the Penguins.
That was the show too? Well, there was a movie. There was a TV show. It's penguins are me and my nephew's favorite animal, whatever. I'm pretty up on penguin culture.
Oh, you mean this guy that just sits here every day?
Yes, I have that same Beanie Baby growing up.
This is not a Beanie Baby, this is Waddle.
Okay, dude. Chill out.
I have an award.
And it's brought to you by DraftKings. Why don't you guys head to the DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code JMBaseball. New customers, if you bet just $5 and your bet wins, you'll score $300 in bonus bets. They got everything. I don't know how much Penguin action. That just might be us. But DraftKings has everything if you want to bet on. Go check it out. New customers, JMBaseball. Bet just $5 on any wager. Get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. What do you got, Trev?
There's this song by the Beatles. Changes. Is that the name of the song? Changes?
I'd like to think so, but I've never.
Every once in a while, I'll be on a Beatles heater and just let their records play, man, and I'll get to Blackbird and In My Life. There's just some fantastic songs by the Beatles. Sure. They get this boy band heartthrob, that's what people think of. Girls chasing them, but they're exceptional songwriters.
Okay. I think some people think that.
I think that's David Bowie.
Okay. I'm into the Beatles.
He's into the Beatles, right?
I'm into them. So changes. I just have a few things I want to talk about in this game baseball because we've made significant changes as of late. And I mentioned Rob Manfred's been hot in the streets. Yeah. ABS is coming, which I think is going to be really good for the game as well. And it kind of eats into what I'm going to go into here a little bit. So the first one, and I want to reiterate this because I mentioned it last show. I and I want this to be a thing. Warning tracks have to be uniform.
Right.
There's like no debate. Like I have people like trying to debate me. I'm looking at this guy right now, Noah Gattel on X.
Okay.
And he's trying to say, why does everyone want baseball to be like basketball? And I was like, what does that mean, Noah? And he goes, because part of what makes baseball different is the fields are not uniform. I don't want the fields to be uniform. Have different sized walls, have different lengths to the wall. All those things can be fine. A warning track is a safety measure. It should be the exact same. And if it helps the grounds crew out and to have it be 25 feet, great. Have every warning track be 25 feet then.
Right.
Like whatever it needs to be, just make it uniform so outfielders like know where they're at in relation to the wall. Like I think
Makes
that one,
sense.
like I guarantee if I make enough noise about this, like they'll make that into a rule. And I'm kind of hoping for that.
Okay.
Because it's about player safety.
Yeah.
And we love outfielders going and get the ball, and this will allow them to do it even more. So I think that, number one, I just want to reiterate that. Warning tracks need to be uniform. That's it. Second one, and this was brought up, I do a Twins show with a couple of the local beat writers, and they were talking about guys getting rung up. And Carlos Correa got thrown out like from the on-deck circle in the Seattle series, so that's what brought this up. And now we see Nico Horner gets rung for saying you're having a really bad day.
Right.
And okay. So what my guy was saying was every other sport, they don't throw players out of the game. Like they give you a penalty. So like, you in football, you get 15 yards. In basketball, maybe you get a tech and the other team goes and shoots a free throw, whatever it may be. In baseball, they just run the players, and now you go sit, and the people that come to watch you are like, what is going on? He's not playing anymore. That's ridiculous. So I'm going to propose something here, and I don't know if it's really going to work. And because we have ABS coming next year, maybe it just makes this a moot point. But I thought it'd be interesting because we already do this in one aspect of the game. What if the umpire was mad at you and he's like, stop arguing. I told you to stop. What if he just pulled out a yellow card, whatever it is, and your next at bat, you started with a strike? Or the next batter, if you're a pitcher arguing too much, you start with the ball. We already do that for pitch clock infractions, right? We already either give a ball or a strike, depending on who does it. Why not do that? We know the numbers that obviously it plays a significant part in the game, starting with a strike or starting with the ball. Those change your at bat, a lot. So I think it is a severe enough penalty. Nobody wants to start 0-1. Why don't we do that instead of kicking guys out of the game?
I'm interested.
Where do you stand on that? That's my whole award is that the 2 rule changes. I think the warning track is a no-brainer. This one is interesting to me, but I think it's worth thinking about keeping guys in the game instead of just throwing them out. Like give them some infraction. And I think a strike or a ball in your next at bat, not that at bat, because if it's 2 strikes and they strike you out on that, I think it's crappy. So your next at bat could carry over into the next game, whatever it is. It's a penalty. It's an infraction. I think we should implement that instead of just throwing guys out of the ballpark, because Jimmy or, little Johnny came to the game to see his favorite player. And then all of a sudden the umpire gets mad and throws him out. And it's like, I just wasted $500 bringing my kids to the game and the guy's not even playing.
Right. I'm interested. This show is built upon late night thoughts. Our friendship is built upon late night thoughts, and there's something here. I don't know what it is, because every rule has ripple effects that we don't think about. That I'm just on the fly trying to process how teams would make this work, or if it's the 9th inning of a game, so we finish playing the Mariners, our next series is against the Angels, and I'm coming up in the 1st inning with a strike. Like, is that's just how it works? Like, I'm interested. I'd have to think through it a little more. And again, that's what baseball has done brilliantly, is they have used the minor leagues as just testing grounds. Because why not? So I would love to try some different things, because Nico Horner shouldn't have been rung on that. And yeah, I mean, I guess it's, because players do get ejected in the other sports. It's just there's a warning before it, like the football player.
You have to do something drastic to get ejected.
Right, your second personal foul or double technical in the NBA, which, that you really have to push the envelope to get there. Yeah, I'm interested.
You have to legitimately hurt people to get thrown out of the game in the other sports.
Yeah, it's just the whole people are there to see over 120K people came for 3 days of baseball in Detroit. And yeah, if one of them, a young short kid who likes slapping the ball around the field, loves the way Nico Horner plays defense, and that was the game they went to this year, that stinks, especially on that. So
you're into it.
I'm into it. Yeah, you'd have to do some testing to see what's the best system. Because in a way, also, like, I don't know if would that make players argue more or less? Well, in a way, it might make guys argue more. I think the counter
to this whole thing is ABS is coming.
Right. Where that
should take away a lot of these arguments.
I mean, if you open up that door, there's so many different ways to go. Because I still don't understand why there's not why don't we have an instant appeal process where they could look at that and be like, you know what, you were a little quick on that one. Like maybe Nico Horner doesn't have to be ejected, or we've seen the wrong guy get ejected before, and there's no take backs. The fact that the umpire sending their arm over is the final signed, sealed, delivered, that's a little ridiculous. So I'm open to thought. I think we'll put everyone in the Talkin' Baseball listener community on it to see what we can find. Because I'm in, Coach. All right, Dad's going to go high and tight. Final award. Trev had to run. We all got to run. Everyone's too busy. Summer's here. And Mets fans, you should be a little mad. We didn't talk about you a little more. Everyone's sweeping the Rockies, so that's where it hurts. But on this 6-9 episode, and I'll let Trev listen to this afterwards, I'm going to give out the Show Me Your Meat award because it's going to Pete Alonso. Pete the Meat, he's one of my favorite players to watch. His energy on the field is just so wild. I think Jimmy calls it Little League energy, but it's genuine, so it's a beautiful thing. He hit one homer to tie David Wright for second place as Mets all-time home runs go. And then he decided later that game to hit his second home run to pass David Wright. And he's 9 behind Darryl Strawberry to be the Mets' all-time home run leader. And I mentioned it before. I was thinking about free agent class and who's going to be there this year. I mentioned I forgot about Arise. Watch out for Pete Alonso because by the end of this year, he's going to be the Mets' all-time home run leader. Right now, he has a 990 OPS. That's not a 903, which again is incredible. 990. He's a big game from one dotting it this year. And I know his last couple years, there's different ways you could look at the numbers that weren't as exciting. But in another way, he was just hitting a ton of home runs. He's leading the National League in RBI. He's tied for the NL lead in doubles. So not only is he homering, the extra base hits are there. 301 batting average. So, hey, those numbers are above Pete's career averages. Look at the slide there. Be an athlete. Play with heart. And that's what Pete brings every day. That these new Mets, these first place Mets, the Juan Soto Mets, the Steve Cohen Mets, he's going to hit free agency again. He's got the opt-out. And Vladdy was supposed to be there. He got paid $500 million. I think Pete's going to do really well in free agency. And I am kind of doubling down on a take because I couldn't believe someone didn't pay him last year. And maybe it's the Mets, or maybe there's a lot of other teams that are going to regret not giving him like the 5 for $125 that I think would have got you Pete Alonso last year, because the numbers are skyrocketing. He has been incredible. He has carried the Mets for a lot of this season. The first place, the best team in the National League, New York Mets. Shout out to Pete the Meat. Shout out to all of you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Let's have a great week together. We will see you back Wednesday. We're talking baseball. We love you guys. I suck. I know. A lot of Penguin talk was good. I think we all agree.
Trev said the Beatles. It was David Bowie.
That'll be tough. But we all got to learn some way. David Bowie.